So we have sometimes these inner blocks, these negative talks that come to us. What are some inner talks or inner the negative talk maybe that you still have or that you used to have and maybe you're still working through?
Yeah. I used to be famous, and I still have it sometimes. Overthinking.
Yeah.
So having a very active mind, and being always on that kind of shore, like problem solution. And I also love to analyze things and understand them more and better and deeper. So I have that tendency to overthink. And what happens, and then I don't see the solution. I only see the problem because I'm analyzing the problem. And then I start to doubt myself that I cannot see the solution, that I cannot find the solution. So then I'm frustrated with myself. Then my confidence goes down. And if I have less confidence, then I'm less courageous to take any actions. So I don't take any actions, and then there are no results, right?
Overanalysis.
Overanalysis, overthinking doesn't really help. Yeah, so I know this about myself. It's much better than it used to be in the past. I already have some tools, techniques how I can help myself immediately as I see that's happening, so I can step out of it. And I have also gorgeous people around me, mentors and coaches, with whom I can discuss such situation and then step out of that as well. So that's one of my ways how I can block myself, how I rather focus on the problem than the solution. And thing is, I quite spread now, thanks to social media, when we see how great other people are doing. Yes, so comparing ourselves, comparing myself with other people that I admire, I read their books, I listen to their podcast, I learn from them, and then I go like, but I still don't have X, Y, Z. I'm still not good enough in this. I'm still not enough, deep inside of this topic. So once I start to do this kind of comparison, also doesn't help. Yeah. So again, the focus is rather on what is missing, what's not there. And then when I have this kind of tunnel vision on only what's missing, then I don't see what everything is already in place, what everything I can do, I'm capable of, what are my strengths. Yeah. So that doesn't help. And then of course the thinking is rather negative than positive. Yeah, so comparing myself with others, it's another block that I'm aware of, and I know it's very common between many people, and it's of course certain way how you can decrease your self-confidence. But again, self-reflection and then knowing these techniques, yeah, I look at my strengths, I learn what journey I already did, what steps I already made, celebrate success, celebrate the small successes, being proud of what we know, what we accomplished, what they already have, and being grateful for what we have. And especially gratefulness, that is really positive emotion, really positive energy, something what helps me personally to uplift again.
Oh, that's great. Because not only did you give us what you have, those negative talks, that inner blocks that you have, but you also gave ways to be able to overcome that if you're having the same ones. Absolutely. And yeah, it's especially for women, we have that self-doubt so much that we have to have those techniques, those tools that we could pull when we're going down that rabbit hole and of doubt and lack of self-confidence and all of the other stuff that we just do the comparison to. So thank you for sharing that part too. So what are some things that you do when you're stressed or overwhelmed?
It's first thing that I usually take is meditation. So I sit down. I usually, if I don't use guided meditation when I have earplugs, then earphones, then I just use earplugs that I totally disconnect from the environment. I sit quietly. I start with some deep breathing in and out, and just the easiest and the quickest for me is to concentrate on the breathing and deepen and relax the breathing. So that's the quickest, and that we have all the time the breathing with us. So yeah, we can use it anytime, anywhere. So that's probably my most favorite and very, very useful technique. Then, as I mentioned before, what I love is walking in the nature. If I cannot go to the mountains, so I don't have enough time for that, I at least go into the park, or if I walk the city, I try to choose the street that is full of trees.
Yes.
Yeah, or I go down to the lake. And so as much greenery as possible, and move it out. And if I just have like few minutes between two meetings or two sessions, then I stand up and I shake it out, I dance it out, yes, and just changing the physicality for 3-4 minutes, it's a huge difference. Yes, so it totally changes the energy, and yeah, again, uplifts, and I can go into another discussion, into another meeting. So those are some quick things. What I also love is journaling. So having one notebook only for journaling. I'm not regular. I don't do it every day. I know there are people that do it every day, and I believe it's powerful if it is part of the routine, daily routine. I do it when I feel I need it, when I feel like I don't have time to call a friend, I don't have time to talk a coach or mentor, but I need to get some things out of my system, whether it's thoughts, whether it's emotions. I take the pen and paper and put it on a paper that nobody reads.
That's good. Well, one thing that you did, or some things that you also did, I think this winter that you got an opportunity to do was skiing. Right? Tell us a little bit about that.
It's my most favorite sport, I admit. Yes, I don't know how to describe it, but I do skiing from the age of 4 or 5 probably. Every season, every winter season. So skiing for me, it's like I can do it well, so I can really enjoy it. Yeah, I can play with it, and I can play with the speed, I can play with the movements, I can play with the tracks I choose, and so any kind of downhill skiing, it's just amazing for me. And there is a bit of risk and adrenaline, yeah, this kind of adventure. If you go in a speed, you really need to be present, you really need to be concentrated, so everything else goes out. So you only focus on the skiing itself, and then it's the beauty of the mountains and nature. And I'm so grateful I moved to Switzerland that has so beautiful mountains. And so skiing and overlooking the Matterhorn, the iconic mountain of Switzerland, overlooking the Mont Blanc, the highest point of Europe, it's just incredible. It's such a beauty. So then it's of course also this kind of the endorphins from being outside and enjoying this beautiful nature and the movement into that. So it's beautiful, and yeah, I can do it any day.
I love it. I love it because you had such a big smile when you would chat. And I knew you were at the mountains. I was like, okay, she's happy there. Woo-hoo, it's our happy place. We all should have a happy place.
Yes, and if you just can go for 2 hours, in the morning before everything else starts, and then you work the rest of the day, it's such a difference. Yeah, so yeah.
Love it. I love it. All right. So what is something that you were told that you believed and that it had a really profound impact on you, but it was not true? How did you work through it, or are you still working through it?
When I was told what I believe was not true, what comes to my mind is that I was born into a family where a son was expected, and yeah, 3 years after I was born, my brother was born, and I was never said that, but I believed that only son and only men are really valued.
Oh, wow.
And that was probably one thing that also motivated me, engaged me to really work hard, really study hard, and really go for the achievements. And so it was helpful for many years, this kind of belief. And later I realized that I was working mostly with men, but I never needed to prove myself that I'm a woman and I'm not as valuable as those men are. And so this was first okay, so maybe the belief is not really true, because I was part of management teams where there are other women, but mostly men, but we were always part of those teams. And probably I was lucky for very respectable colleagues. But then I also saw that my belief from my childhood was not true. And on the other hand, I started to understand that, yeah, I'm a woman, and there are some special qualities of women that I can bring as a woman into my work environment. I can bring that into the meetings. I can bring that into the discussions that I have with my colleagues. So I later started to rather look what it is that I as a woman can bring. And I started to really appreciate the diversity of every one of us. And there's not only gender diversity, that's diversity in all the other dimensions.